Alright, so the focus for learning for today's video is I can find the domain and range of a function graphically. So we've already talked about what makes something a function, and now we're going to talk about domain and range. So the domain is the set of all possible x values in a function. So all of the inputs, because remember, x values are your inputs. The range is a set of all the possible y values, or outputs, because remember, your outputs are represented by the variable y. So we are going to look at a few graphs and figure out how we can find the domain and range graphically. Alright, so finding the domain and range of a function from a graph. Here, this is our first example. On the left-hand side here, we see that we have a graph. Remember, the domain is a set of all possible inputs, so all of the possible x values. So what we need to do is we need to find, on our graph, we need to figure out what is our smallest x value and what is our biggest x value. So if we look all the way to the left here on our graph, we're looking at the x values that make up the blue line. The smallest possible x value is -11. And then let's follow our graph all the way to the right and find the biggest x value on our graph. Our biggest x value is 5. Now we kind of have to think back to inequalities because we're going to write the domain in set notation as an inequality. So, do you see how we have filled in dots here? Remember, that means that -11 and 5, our smallest x value and our biggest x value, are both part of the solution set. So we're going to say that -11 is less than or equal to x, because remember, your domain is all the possible x values, is less than or equal to 5. So what this is saying is that for this graph I have here, this blue graph, the domain of my function, so all of my possible inputs are x values that are between -11 and 5. Now, we found the domain by looking for the smallest x value and the biggest x value. To find the range, we're going to look at our graph and find the smallest y value and the biggest y value. So the smallest y value is going to be the lowest point on our graph. So if we look here, we want to find the lowest point, and our y value right here is -1. Then we also need to find the biggest y value on our graph. So if we look up here, looks like our biggest y value happens here, and it is 6. Again, we have filled in circles, so that means -1 and 6 are part of the solution set. So for the range, we have -1 is less than or equal to y, because now we're talking about the y values for range, is less than or equal to 6. So again, this is interval notation, set notation. What this means is that the range, the y values, the outputs for this graph here are between -1 and 6. All right, now let's look at another example. This one right away, you're going to notice a difference because on the first example, we had 2 filled in circles at the beginning and end of our function. Now we don't have 2 filled in circles anymore. We have an open circle and a closed circle. So when we're finding the domain, this open circle is going to play a part in that. Again, we want to start by finding the smallest x value for our blue graph and the biggest x value. So if we look here, -1 is our smallest x value, and then we'll follow our function all the way to the right, and it looks like 8 is our biggest x value. So when you're writing the domain in that set notation, you're going to start with the smallest number, so -1. Now, this time we're just going to say is less than, because this circle here on -1 is not filled in. So -1 is less than x, because x represents the domain, is less than or equal to 8, because that's our biggest x value. And over here on the 8, our circle is filled in. So that's why we have that less than or equal to part. All right, then to find the range. Now we're looking at the smallest y value and the biggest y value that we have. So let's look for the lowest point on our graph. The lowest point on our blue graph, not on the entire coordinate plane, but just on the blue graph, on the function that we're talking about, is -7. The y value down there is -7. Then we want to look for the highest point on our blue function here, which is 8. The y value there is 8. So when we write the range, we're going to say -7. Let me fix that. Let me fix this whole thing. So -7 is less than y, because again, range is the y values, is less than or equal to 8. And that would be our range here, because -7 is our smallest y value, and 8 is our biggest y value. So these first two graphs that we looked at, the points on these graphs are connected. So these graphs are called continuous, because when you connect all the points on the graph with a line or a curve, that is called continuous. This third example, you see we have points here that are not connected with a line. So this is called discrete. So when the points are connected, your graph is continuous. When the points are not connected, your graph is discrete. So the first thing here is I was just given the graph with these points on it. The first step to find the domain and range of a graph like this is you need to find the ordered pair that represents each point. So here, I found the ordered pairs, I typed them on here in red. Now remember, the domain is all the possible x values. So what I'm going to do for the domain here is I'm literally just going to list in my brackets all of the possible x values. So the x value of each point on my graph. So -5, -2, 0, 2, 4. We do not write an inequality because this graph is not continuous. So when you're just given the points, you list all of the possible x values, all of the x values for each point. Now, the range, we're going to do the same thing, but this time instead of listing the x values, we're going to list the y values. So you'll see here our y values are -4, -3, 3, -5, and 2. And that's how you find the domain and range of a function from a graph.